and I'm very honored to be here. Thank you for being part of our team. I'm honored to have you on our side. It's been an amazing 3 months with you on this journey, and we're building now a very strong Sanki US team with your leadership, with your experience, with your talent, with your humbleness, with all your blessings that you're putting into this strong mission that we have ahead of us. We have a lot of things to do in front of us, and I'm honored to be here with you tonight. Thank you for the introduction again.
Well, thank you so much, sir. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, again, there has been much talk of the over 20 million people that are now unemployed because of the coronavirus, the COVID-19. Over 40,000 persons that have lost their life. A lot about the disease is unknown still. But we feel like here at Sanki Global, we have an opportunity, a very sincere, unique, genuine opportunity for you to become a part of a movement that will safeguard your health and your wellness and your family's health and wellness. And we don't take this lightly. This is a privilege to speak to each and every one of you. There's been some amazing stories of people that have been diagnosed with the COVID-19. There's been amazing stories of persons that have had symptoms, and perhaps they were so sick they couldn't make it. They could not make it to the hospital and to be diagnosed, but they made a phone call and they had a video chat with a doctor, and they told them that you have coronavirus. Well, the persons that had the autonomy, the ability, and the ability to start with the Sanki brand and products, they were able to be excited because they knew that they had something that would go in and that would reverse this coronavirus. These are real stories that you're going to hear about tonight. These are real people, and we have real solutions. But before we get into some of the stories, I am honored tonight that we have two medical doctors that will be speaking on our panel tonight. This is our first international medical panel call. So it is not too late for you to invite your friends and your loved ones that you care about, your colleagues. You should have everybody on this line with destiny and purpose. What is that? That's a pen and a piece of paper to take copious notes of what you're going to hear about tonight. And I promise you, the worst thing that's going to happen tonight is you're going to leave here inspired. You're going to leave here encouraged, and you're going to leave here empowered. And so I want to turn the call over to Mr. Lopez Tello, because he will be one of the persons that will be interviewing the medical doctors. We will also hear from none other than our North American director, also a director, global director of all of the Caribbean market. He is the reason why I'm here. He is the reason why many of us is here. He's such an encourager. He's someone who I look up to. He is one of my mentors. He is someone who I have a great deal of honor and respect for, along with millions of people all over the world. He too is a husband and a proud father of two amazing children. He is a successful business owner of multiple businesses. He is a millionaire maker himself. He is someone that I look to and I'm humbled to serve at his feet. He is someone that leads with passion and compassion for people and vigor. Sometimes I wonder if he's the Energizer Bunny, because he never stops working. He's always looking to do more so that the people like you and me can have more. He is my friend. He is my mentor. He is the co-CEO to the North American region. He is someone that I look up to and look towards for hope and inspiration. And he has laid an incredible foundation and a vision that is so big that Mr. Lopez Tello created 10 years ago, and that Mr. Avita came in and inserted his vision inside of his. And that's a beautiful thing, to have the cross-pollination of that level of gift, talent, and anointing, to have those two giants at the helm of this. Mr. Jose Avita, are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here. How you doing, everyone? Good night. Thank you, Dr. Helen, for this amazing introduction. And I feel blessed as well that you are here with us in this journey and sharing with us this season, which I'm sure that we have been discussing this for so many hours. And we are very excited to have this first international Zoom medical panel to explain the benefits and the goods we can bring with our products, with our technology, and how can we help thousands of people around the globe with this amazing technology. So I feel blessed, I feel honored to serve to this big vision that my partner, Mr. Alejandro Lopez Tello, came on 10 years ago. And since then, we have been able to help millions of people in different countries, and now here in this pre-launch season in the US and also the Korean market. So thank you for everyone for being here today. I'm excited because I'm reading all the chats and I'm seeing people from Trinidad and Tobago, from Jamaica, from Bahamas, from New York, from California, from Vegas, from Idaho, and different places around the US territory. But also I'm seeing people from Colombia and seeing people from Mexico as well. So this is an international, so in general terms, we are more than maybe 8 countries today together this night. So it's amazing that we can be witness of these amazing things that the technology allowed us to make it happen. So thank you for being with us tonight. And we are here to serve you, and we are for you and because of you. Thank you.
Well, absolutely. We're going to go ahead and get started with the medical panel on this evening. But with much privilege and honor, I want to introduce the 2 medical doctors that will be featured here on tonight in our beginning series, because I do believe that this is going to be a kickoff of many more medical panels. So tonight we have Dr. Lee Laney. Dr. Lee Laney is a gastrologist. He's been affiliated with the National Institute of Health from Washington, D.C., also Cleveland Clinic, with over 30 years of combined alternative methods along with holistic and also conventional methods. He is also an ordained elder. He is a mentor in the community, and he is currently publishing his first medical book. He has traveled all around the world teaching the good news of health and wellness and how to live a holy life. To have someone of his caliber that would say yes to be affiliated with Sanki Global is an absolute privilege for each and every one of us. He has been on television shows. He has been featured on CNN. He has also been featured on radio shows. He has been a top producer in companies that are like Sanki Global with the health and wellness perspective. And he has also created millionaires. He also is a mentor to males, to the least and the lost, boys, young men of color. He is someone that I not only look towards for medical advice, he is someone that I not only look towards for business development advice, but he is someone that I look towards for spiritual advice, and also someone who I consider to be a role model and a father figure in my life. I have learned much from Dr. Lee Laney, medical doctor, over the last 15 years of our relationship. He is married to the beautiful Dr. Kim Laney, and they reside in Oregon. Do I have Dr. Lee Laney on the line tonight?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, sir. I'm not sure if did you type your name in so they can undo the video? Because I know if you try to do it, it will be probably difficult to do that.
Okay, let me see.
Okay, so while you're working on that, I will now make my next introduction. And if you're on, anyone who knows you're speaking tonight, go ahead and press the video opt in. And then if you have your name typed out, they will find you, or click the raise hand, and then they will allow you to be seen on the screen here. Our next speaker that will be interviewed tonight in the medical panel is a gentleman who is dear and near to my heart, Dr. Franco Tello, BHHN, MD. He is a natural pathologist. He is someone who owns and operates many successful businesses. He practices holistic medicine and also conventional. He has Bible Way Institute. He has his bachelor's in holistic health. He has received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the former president, Barack Obama. I met Dr. Franco Tello a few years ago, and someone that has all of the accolades that's associated with his name, such as persons experiencing to have HIV, to have diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and after being in his treatment program, they have been, let's say, I don't know if the word for tonight, I don't want to use the word healed, but let's just say a miracle happened because they no longer have that illness. And that's pretty spectacular because that's how he was introduced to me. Because when he was introduced to me, we met in business, just like Dr. Laney and I met in business. But quickly, Dr. Franco became more of a role model to me. And then when I found out I was sick, when I had a diagnosis, not of cancer, but that there's something going on with my blood. This is right before I found out I had cancer. I didn't know too many people that I could call because being a global public figure, you have to be very careful who you share certain pertinent information that's very private and that it could be deemed as critical and people would lose their faith in your judgment. And so making that phone call to Dr. Franco Tello is because I trust him and I believe in him. And I shared some very heart-wrenching news, and he walked me through the whole process of what to prepare for and how to even reverse what I was going through. And then shortly thereafter, I was diagnosed with cancer, and he walked me through that process as well. So needless to say, these two men in my life are two men that I'm honored to have to the left and to the right of me. And I consider them both a father figure. Dr. Franco Tello is married to the beautiful queen, Dr. Linda Taylor, and they reside in Memphis, Tennessee. We too are honored to have both of these men, Dr. Franco Tello, with your credentials, someone of your pedigree, for you to say yes and serve in the capacity that you serve each and every Saturday on our physicians panel call at 11 o'clock Eastern is an absolute blessing. We are shown so much favor that God is showing this company by sending two giants to us. So I now turn the call over to Mr. Alejandro Lopez Tello, to Dr. Franco Tello and Dr. Laney. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you for the introduction. It's an honor to be here with Dr. Laney and Dr. Franco Tello. Thank you, doctors, for being here. I'm very excited to start with some information that we just received last week from our partners in Japan about the clinical trials that we have been doing in the last months around different types of viruses and the benefits of this technology against these viruses. So I would like to share, as an introduction, I would like to share this information, and I will be going back and forth with Dr. Lee and Dr. Franco so we can discuss a little bit more about what we're seeing on the screen. Do you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Then I'll share my screen with here. Just hold on here. Ready. So here we can see, I'll go very fast through these clinical trials of the last supplementation on the incidence of viral diseases. This, as you can see on your right, huge image of a nanovirus, because actually all viruses are at the nano level, and all our nanotechnology, all our metabolites are at the nano level. So we're speaking here the same language. It's a level that is at the molecules size, so people can understand. We're talking about molecules and way smaller than a human cell. So we will go through these main physiological and pathophysiological factors of COVID-19 first. Basically, I divided this for an easy understanding in 3 different important matters to discuss. The first one is the 3CL proviral enzyme that helps the COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2 virus to replicate. Second one, the Cytokine Storm, which is an inflammatory effect. And third, the natural killer cells attraction, the NK cells, which is the immune protection. So, talking about this 3CL proviral enzyme, you can see here in the diagram, it seems quite complicated, but at the end, on the upper right-hand side of the image, you'll see a coronavirus entering into a cell, into a human cell. What happens is that as the virus enters into the cell, the 3CL Pro enzyme helps the cell to replicate. So you'll see the different stages. Actually, there are 8. We will not go through this. This is not a biology lesson. But if you go through the 8 steps, at the end, in the 8th step, which is in the down on the right hand corner, you'll see a new virus release. So actually, what happens is that the virus uses this enzyme to replicate, to start replicating very, very fast inside the cell, and uses all the cell machinery to produce these viral proteins. So the viruses start reproducing inside the cell. Without the 3CL Pro, without this enzyme, the COVID-19 would not be able to reproduce, to replicate. So this is an important concept to understand, and we will go through after we review what Bell Ash is doing with this 3CL Pro enzyme. We will understand what's going on with our technology and this important enzyme. As I said, second important factor, there's the Cytokine Storm, which is this inflammatory effect. The deaths caused by the COVID-19 are due to a phenomenon called the Cytokine Storm, through which different pro-inflammatory substances called the interleukins, like the IL-1, IL-6, IL-8, tumor necrosis factor, among others, are released, causing the destruction of the pulmonary alveoli. So this is the other factor, this huge inflammatory effect that the COVID-19 virus creates inside the lungs, inside the alveoli. It's an overreaction Basically, it's an overreaction of your immune system to this virus inside your lungs. And actually, this overreaction is what kills you. All the deaths caused by the COVID-19 are because of this overreaction, this huge inflammatory effect inside the lungs. And the third factor is the natural killer cell attraction, which is the immune protection. During infections with a virus like influenza or different types of coronavirus, the body's defense cells called natural killer cells are activated. These immune cells detect infected and activated cytotoxicity mechanisms, directly attacking virus-infected cells, slowing their reproduction. So I would like to talk a little bit more about these three important factors around the COVID-19 with our doctors. I would like to start with Dr. Lee. What you can add to all of this, doctor?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
What I'd like to add is that what you have said has been really an important understanding of the immune response to viruses, period. It gets to be very important when you talk about the physiologic and pathological factors of COVID-19, which itself is a special virus, if you will, because it's a mutated virus of the corona categories, and it actually has undergone such mutation until it's detrimental to a person down in the level of the lungs, where our body can normally fight viruses off. COVID-19 has been something that not only detrimental to a human's body because it gives human to human type of transmission, but it also has been something that overtakes the cell itself, and it goes in and overwhelms, if you will, just like you had mentioned, the natural killer type of protective mechanisms that help us to protect the immune system. Also, when you talk about these particular cells, it's good to have something that's going to go in and help the cell be protected at the level from viruses and bacteria. And we're going to be talking about this later. There's something that can go in right at the level of the cell and help to protect the cells and the lungs down at the cellular level, even from something as strong and detrimental as COVID-19. That's what I would say introductory.
Thank you, doctor.
Alejandro, back to you.
Yes, thank you. And what would you like to add, Dr. Franco, to all of this?
Okay, how are you, my dear sir? It's good to see you again.
Good to see you again as well. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, it's just a pleasure knowing that when the body, as a lot of people, we call it autoimmune disease. And as you were just explaining, and as Dr. Laney was alluding to, when the body responds to a virus or whatever that doesn't belong in there, when it detects it and responds to it, sometimes there's an over response. And we call it the cytokine storm, with massive amounts of immune ingredients are sent out into the body, and they need regulation. And the solution or the answer and the thankfulness is that the pelage has the polyphenols and so forth in it that literally help to regulate how the cytokine storm operates on the body. It helps to send the right amount of leukocytes to where they belong and in the right amounts, so that they slow down and retard the inflammation and they slow down the cell damage. we've got a formulation that is designed specifically with its nanotechnology to do that. And it's just, like I like to say, a plum pleasing pleasure to be a part of a company and a product system, a formulation system that can actually halt not only just this virus, but a lot of these other autoimmune diseases that are just destroying lives.
So absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. Well, I would like to add that as Dr. Franco was saying, this the Lash product has a specific patented technology named Orisod complex. This Orisod complex has been developed in Japan for many, many decades. It took us many decades to get to the point where we are now in 2020. And it's basically a group of biologically active enzymes obtained through another patented process named cold biofussion technology, using cold biofussion reactors, which have different properties. All these enzymes have different properties to combat different types of viruses. This complex has specifically talking about the COVID-19, has three main benefits. The first one, this technology inhibits the protease 3CL Pro, which is responsible for the viral replication, as we were just seeing in some previous slides, resulting in the inhibition of the virus reproduction within the cell. So basically, our product decreases or inhibits the virus reproduction as soon as the virus is inside the cell. The second important benefit is that this Orisod complex decreases this cytokine storm. So all these enzymes that are activated within the cell are decreased so the body doesn't overreact. Like the IL-1 beta, the IL-6, the IL-17D, other free radicals, reactive oxygen species, the NF-kappa beta, etc. And the third benefit, it stimulates all our defense lines, our immune system, activating at an important level all these natural killer cells, which are lymphocytes that are directly attacking the virus inside the lung cells. So we can confirm that this technology can be used as an adjuvant in the prevention and management of a virus like the COVID-19. And I would like to get specifically into this in vitro and in vivo clinical trials that we just received last week. And it's why we decided to have this conference with all of you, so you can immediately have the information and can start sharing it with all your clients, with all the patients, with all the people outside that are living in panic, in fear, that are really fearful about getting the COVID-19. Well, here is an option as an adjuvant to boost your immune system with a patented technology. So our study demonstrated the action of the Lash on the enzyme responsible for this viral replication called the 3CL Pro, as we have been saying. The studies concluded that the Lash reduces the reproduction of the SARS virus inside the cell by almost 84%. This enzyme, which is, as we have been saying, responsible for the replication of the virus, is inhibited. So we did this through organic substrate of the 3CL Pro and the Lash, which were incubated and with fluorescence was measured for 4 hours at 490 nanometers. The result is that this inhibition of the 3CL Pro was pretty important, almost 84%. So, Dr. Lee, what would you like to add about this first important benefit of the Balazs technology?
Well, first off, I want to say that Balazs as a product is something in vivo or in vitro
I think that we're losing Dr. Lee.
Dr. Lee, maybe your Wi-Fi, I think, is cutting out, sir. You may want to log off and log back in, Dr. Lee Laney.
Oh, let me see.
Maybe if you
am I on now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now, Dr. Laney. Go right
now,
ahead.
Can you see me? Is that video up?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that we lost him again. So he's cutting off. So let's go with Dr. Franco. We were talking about the benefits of the Balazs. And in this case, we're specifically talking about the 3CL Pro enzyme and how this reproduction of the virus is reduced by almost 84%.
Right. Very, very good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Very good. Very good. Yes, it's just amazing that virus, like cancer, like they're all abnormal growths. Fibroids, all those are abnormal growths, abnormal tissue. The virus is abnormal, and it has to feed on something abnormal. So it has to have an environment that's abnormal. And the Balazs empowers the system to destroy that 3CL Pro enzyme so that it cannot produce the protein needed. And that just completely causes the viral cell to just disintegrate. So that's the power of the Balazs in building the body to the point where it can actually destroy this enzyme. Once it's destroyed, there's no protein made. This abnormal protein can't be made. And a good deal of that is because of the Balazs' ability to go straight into the cells and flush them out, flush out all the nastiness, the morbid, putrid material that the viral cell would be able to live with. So again, it stops the enzyme. The enzyme is not there. The viral cell can't make the protein, and it can't reproduce itself, and it basically implodes. We've got a powerful product in Balazs.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's see if Dr. Lee is back. Maybe if you turn off your video, doctor, your signal will improve.
I've turned my video off. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you see me?
Yes.
I can't. All right.
I can still see you.
Okay. What I want to say in terms of 3CL Pro, when you talk about viral replication of the coronavirus, you actually need to have the 3CL Pro enzyme to actually make the virus not only replicate in vitro or in vivo, which means in the test tube or in the body, but the clinical trials by Sanki has shown that the oroside complex, which is what Balazs is, along with olive,
I think that he's cutting off again. We cannot hear you. Doctor?
Something, when you talk about illnesses, you're going to get several different viruses. and other bacteria, if you will. But when you take something like Belage that's being used in the Sanki Mayer studies, and I was looking at this one study yesterday, you actually are having the Belage to inhibit the reproduction of the virus in the cells by up to 84%. So therefore, when people talk about I'm feeling better, or the symptoms are not the same as they were in taking the Belage as opposed to somebody not taking the Belage, you're really speaking about what's happening down at the cellular level, if you will. Belage, as you all know, is a product that has rosemary and it has olive leaf extract. The olive leaf extract, if I might just say, for some people that may not know, it's antiviral, it's anti-inflammatory, it's antioxidant, it's antimicrobial. That means it not only helps to fight bacteria and fungus, but it also helps to fight viruses themselves. It's also an immune booster. So when you talk about what does this all mean down at the 3CL Pro level, the viral replication of the coronavirus, which is otherwise something that goes down and affects the cell, the Belage works to inhibit this 3CL Pro enzyme to actually decrease the virus reproducing in the cell by up to 84%. Alejandro?
Yes, thank you, doctor. Thank you. That's absolutely right. What else do we have here after receiving our clinical trials, our clinical studies? Well, blood samples were taken from patients in the Belage group and the control group. We're talking about 200 patients, 50% women, 50% men that were part of this study. And the attraction and action of these natural killer cells was evaluated at the beginning and the end of the study, measuring the lactate dehydrogenase released from the target cells. And this is also quite amazing. The natural killer cell activity increased by almost 40%, 38.8%. And no significant changes were observed in the control group. So we can conclude that Belage stimulates our immune system through the attraction and action of these NK cells. Dr. Franco, what would you like to add about this?
Well, basically that the natural killer cells, that's been around since the body was created, and they weaken because we don't eat right. There's no nutrition, there are no nutrients in the body. We eat lots of food. We're eating animal products, we're eating cooked food, we're eating processed food. So the body lives off of nutrients, not off of food. And when you don't get the food, then it doesn't matter, even if you had a good, what you call a real powerful antioxidant formula, or if you had a supplement that was supposed to heal the body or whatever, it couldn't do it because the body couldn't absorb it, because the microbiota in the gut are just wasted, they're destroyed. But the Belage helps to strengthen and cleanse and refuel the microbiota with more butyrate, so they become more bioactive. And in doing so, they can cause the body to literally do what it did in this clinical trial, which is literally to just stop or halt or arrest the growth of the viral cell period, just to stop it in its tracks.
Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Lee, what would you like to add to what Dr. Franco just said?
Yes, I've read this study that was just completed by Sanki last month, March 2020. And in that study, it actually did show that the Belage, it stimulated the immune system through attracting and the action of the natural killer cells. Now, what are natural killer cells? natural killer cells are there in our immune system, and they come in to actually fight a virus or fight whatever can get down at that level of causing something like a COVID-19. And in this particular study, like you said, Alejandro, there were 200 people, men and women, and it showed that this natural killer cell activity was increased by 38.8%. Now, what does that really mean? It means that these natural killer cells, after taking a barrage, they actually went in and they were able to hurt the cells that had the viruses coming in, hurt the cells and that had the bacteria or whatever else is coming in, and it stimulated the immune system just by taking the barrage. Now, how in the world can barrage do that? Well, barrage with this Orazide enzyme system, it improves detoxification of the liver. It increases the brain energy. It actually causes a decrease in the production of free radicals. It causes there to be a decrease in the levels of fat paradoxation, which means that it cuts down the amount of fat that's being made too. So it's actually working on the immune system and helping the natural killer cells actually go in and help the body all in one. Now, when you talk about looking at the control group, the people who were not taking barrage, it found out that there were no significant changes in them, which means the study goes on and talks about other things that we may talk about later, how many of the people, when they were taking the barrage, didn't have the pneumonia and didn't have gastroenteritis and weren't absent from work and didn't have any case of hospital admission. So the barrage not only stimulated the immune system, but it helped people on many different levels fight off the virus at the cellular level. Alejandro?
Thank you, Dr. Lee. You want to add something, Dr. Franco?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that everyone out there in the audience understands how that works. The immune system, we've got what's called macrophage or these macrophages, which means large eater, through phagocytosis, literally engulf the virus, okay? And they hold it there when the enzymes will dissolve it inside, and then it's taken out of the body if an individual is eating their fiber and if they're drinking their water. That's the way the body does it. They don't just disappear, they have to be taken out of the body. But the macrophage literally will engulf it and then pull it into the bloodstream where it can be removed from the body. And that is what the barrage does. It increases the leukocytes, the phagocytes, the T cells, those immune system cells. It increases their ability to do their job, which is to scavenge through, detect, and remove things like the COVID virus or coronavirus or SARS virus or any virus. It'll remove them out of the body.
Absolutely. Barrage has proven to have a strong scavenging effect with all these bacteria, viruses, fungus, actually. So to continue with the information around the clinical trials, we will discuss now what are the effects of barrage with the Cytokine Storm. And that clinical trial was carried out in 20 healthy volunteer athletes who for 30 days were exposed to extreme exercise to generate an intense release of cytokines similar to that generated in an acute inflammatory process in the body when contracting a disease. The blood levels of IL-6 and tumor necrosis factors, alpha TNF-alpha, were measured, both powerful pro-inflammatory cytokines. The results are also quite impressive. The IL-6 levels of the athletes who took the lash decreased 58%, while those who took the placebo only 22%. The TNF-alpha levels of the athletes who took the lash decreased by 54%, while those who took the placebo only 14%. So this clearly demonstrates that this cytokine storm is also decreased by the daily intake of the lash. What would you like to add, about this, Dr. Lee?
Yes. I'm excited about the Balaj period because of the Orozide complex and what has been shown through this, and you can see it there on the slide, that you get a reaction from the body whenever you get some type of inflammation. And all of this is really being caused by inflammation when the virus comes into the body. Now, you got these are healthy volunteer athletes, but when there was this acute inflammatory process in the body, we get the cytokine storm. And the cytokine storm is something where the body is trying to react to inflammation. And the body goes in and it overreacts, and you get the tumor necrosis factor, you get powerful pro-inflammatory cytokines. So sometimes it's the overreaction, just like you said, Alejandro, of the body, especially down at the lung cellular level, that causes people to die. But what happened is the Balaj in this particular study has shown that it decreases by 58% the overactive levels of the IL-6 as well as the tumor necrosis factor by 54%. So therefore, it's safe to say from these studies that the Balaj decreases the cytokine storm. It gives the chance for your body to respond to a virus, especially down at the level of the lungs, that you can be able to actually not succumb or die from the virus itself, but you can be able to live, fight off the virus without the cytokine storm coming in and overtaking your body. Alejandro?
Absolutely. Very clear, doctor. Thank you. Dr. Franco, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I guess basically for the average person out there, they can understand that when you run or exercise or work out, the muscles feel very sore and tired. That's lactic acid buildup, poison building up in the muscles. And if it's not removed, then it can become a problem. And so what happens here, the Balaj actually goes in. Once again, the first thing it does is to flush. It flushes out the poisons and toxins. It helps to burn some of these free radicals, turning them into necessary energy, which gives you more energy. And then at the same time, when it removes that lactic acid, that removes some of the inflammation. And then what you do is you get a much, much quicker and a much, much better recovery time. And that's what I've noticed from some of the athletes that I've talked with, including my son, who now uses it every time before working out. Then after he works out, he drinks some more. And so his recovery time is just absolutely almost instant. And so that's because of the Balaj's ability to cleanse and replenish the cells.
You're absolutely right, Dr. Franco. By the way, Sanki Global has a Sanki Athletes program. We started that program a few years ago in Mexico, and now we have more than 150 professional athletes that will go to the coming Olympics that are in the most important world competitions. And actually, they love the product because of what you just said, Dr. Franco, because the recovery is amazing. So even if you're not a professional athlete, and if you're starting to work out, or if you have been working out all your life, you will start seeing the differences and the way your body recovers if you take the Balaj before and after the workout, or at least before. Remember, you can take more than one dose of the Balaj per day. Actually, for patients that are infected by the COVID-19, because of these studies that confirm all the benefits from the product, we recommend that you take even up to 6 stick packs of the Balaj per day. That's also important for everybody to know. So let's continue. I'm excited. I'm really excited. This is a lot of information. I hope you're taking notes. And our last slide around all these clinical trials is about what Dr. Lee was saying a few minutes ago. And it's about this double-blind, two-arm, parallel group, placebo-controlled, single-center, randomized clinical trial done in Japan with the LASH and 200 men and women around 45 years old that were recruited and asked to consume 1 dose of the LASH daily or 1 dose of the placebo for 12 weeks between December the 1st of 2019 and March the 1st of 2020. And we also asked them to return the empty boxes to determine the adherence to the treatment. At the end of this clinical trial, it was evaluated how many patients have type A influenza, type B influenza, and viral gastroenteritis. And the influenza type A and B were diagnosed through a sample obtained by nasopharyngeal swab, and gastroenteritis through the presence of symptoms like nausea or vomiting, diarrhea, or fever. The results are also pretty amazing. In the group that took the LASH, it was reported a decrease of minus 50.50% of type A influenza incidence, minus 70.31% of type B influenza incidence, minus 50.52 gastroenteritis incidence, minus 67.09% pneumonia incidence, minus 62.5 absence from work. We also measured that, how many of the patients were absent to their work. And also, this is very important. This product, this technology help the patients to not be in a hospital, which at this stage, imagine the potential. I just need you to say the potential that we have in our hands. How many people are just panicked about going to a hospital, even if they get the COVID-19, or even if they get a normal flu or any other type of disease? Nobody wants to go to a hospital now. Well, we can say that this product can avoid you visiting a hospital, as easy as that, because these results are quite impressive. We can conclude that the LASH decreased up to 70% the appearance of viral respiratory diseases in all these 200 men and women that were measured for 12 weeks. Dr. Lee, I would love to hear what you want to comment around this.
Yes, Alejandro, I thought this study was well done. It was a double-blind study that was finished and done over the period of time where we normally would see influenza, as well as we would see the coronaviruses and the COVID-19 being rampant. And the results with it showing that blood was taken, and it decreased up to 70% of the appearance of these viral respiratory diseases. I think that is significant. As a gastroenterologist, and I've been around and been all over the world in all kinds of different situations and scenarios, and the respiratory viral season is different in different places. But this is something that would actually affect all viral respiratory disease climates. Being a gastroenterologist, and 70% of the immune system is in the 30 feet of bowel. To say that here, this study has shown that between 50 to 70% of people from influenzas type A and B, gastroenteritis, as well as pneumonia, have all had a decrease in these illnesses related to the viral syndromes. I mean, it's significant to be able to say. Also, it's a good thing to say that the study showed that comparing to the control group, you can see that 62.5% of them showed that it didn't have to be absent from work, or they didn't have to go into the hospital for admission. So Balaj has shown this decrease And with this being something that's been shown through a clinical trial, it's safe to say that people can take Balaj and feel as if it would help them not have to go to the hospital or be absent from work from many viral respiratory diseases because of what Balaj has in it. Now, it has the rosemary and it has the olive leaf extract. I've already mentioned what the olive leaf extract does. The rosemary, suffice to say, also regulates our systems, the immune system and the circulatory system. So when you take Balaj, it's going down into the immune system and doing things that the virus itself, these viruses, come in and work against. It's important to say, you see the gastroenteritis incidence there. As a gastroenterologist, I see a lot of people come in and they have the viral gastroenteritis and they're having diarrhea and they're having, as well as problems that like they're having an upper respiratory tract infection. And they not only stay away from their job, but they're scared to go anywhere and it just really limits their life. Here, the Balaj has shown a decrease in not only the gastroenteritis, but also the appearance of the overall viral respiratory disease that will keep a person from being able to function once they have something like this. So I thought this was a good study.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for your comments. Dr. Franco, go ahead, please.
Okay. Again, I'd just like to add to what Dr. Laney has said that we've seen throughout all that we've done so far that one of the main things that Balaj does is it helps to increase immune strength, so the immune system is able to fight off viruses and so forth. Here we're talking about respiratory. Respiratory, that means basically that we've got lots of inflammation, because they say that most disease starts with a buildup of inflammation. And what we haven't said thus far is that we know Hasaki has 596 metabolites, but Balaj has over 300 metabolites. And metabolism, at the end of it, you have metabolites, but the purpose of it is basically three main purposes: converting food into energy for body processes, turning this food into building blocks like building protein. But the third one is very important because it's removing nitrogenous wastes and removing the inflammation. And that's what the Balaj does, is it helps to slow the cytokine storm, which allows the leukocytes, the immune system cells, to go to where they need to go to and the amount they need to go to so that they can remove the inflammation. And that, of course, is going to cause quick healing and a lot less problems in the respiratory diseases.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor.
I have another comment.
Yes, absolutely, Doctor. We'll just stop sharing my computer so we can start talking with our distributors, our clients, our customers, all our guests tonight.
Yes. The other comment I wanted to mention is that people are talking about COVID-19 being present at the same time. Let's say this coming winter and this coming fall. COVID-19 or coronavirus being present with influenza. Many people that come in with COVID-19 type of symptoms, they are tested and they find out that they just have the flu, they have influenza. They're not talking so much about that because so much emphasis is being put on COVID-19 and the deaths around COVID-19. But many people actually have influenza when they come in. So to actually talk about Balaj and the fact that Balaj goes in and decreases the viral respiratory diseases and up to 70%, that's a very important point to make, because if it's working down at the immune level and it's helping to decrease viral respiratory illnesses, here is something in the Balaj that's able to impact what a lot of people will be experiencing as they try to go back to work and in the fall and in the winter. So taking Belage, like in this study, it was just one stick of Belage. But just like you say, Alejandro, for people taking Belage and wanting to really boost the immune system a little bit more, even when you get some of the first symptoms of what you think is an influenza, you can take more Belage. And it can actually, if one stick did this, then it's thought that taking like 2 sticks or 3 sticks, if you will, which some people I've heard do that, and you can find that it'll work, I think, even a little bit better.
Absolutely, doctor. You're absolutely right. This is not just for COVID-19. It's for all our lives to be stronger and to feel better. Because basically the benefits are these anti-inflammatory effects of the technology. We haven't talked about the improvement in the microcirculation, which is also very important, and we can prove it through our microscanners, which is also very, very important. And also the reactivation of the antioxidant enzymes that we have inside the cells, like the SOD, the GPX, among others. So basically tonight, what we wanted to share was all this information around the clinical trials. And I would like to give the word to Dr. Helen, so we can talk to the people. How can they start sharing this with more people? Because this is such an amazing information. Today, as of today, we have 2.7 million people around the world with COVID-19, 2.7 million cases. Just in the US, 870,000 cases just in the US. Mexico, around 10,000. Japan, 11,000. So the US is the top one on earth by far. And we need to share this as soon as possible and as fast as possible to as many people we can, because we can save lives today. We can really save lives, and I don't know what we're waiting for. So Dr. Helen, what would you like to add about this?
Absolutely. Thank you so much to the gentleman that spoke on this evening. And I want to bring you back here, so don't go anywhere, Dr. Laney and Dr. Franco Taylor, because we want to hear some closing thoughts as we conclude on this evening. And thank you so much for the vision, Mr. Alejandro Lopez Tello, to have this amazing international physicians panel call on this evening. So we are definitely very grateful for all of you serving the big team, the big picture, and we're blessed. And so it's very simple what we're discussing on this evening. And we have people tuning in from all over the world. There's definite facts that are horror stories that you're hearing each and every night. I have lost 2 persons that I'm very close with because they just didn't have the right information. It's not because they were at the wrong place at the wrong time. They just lacked education on how to be empowered and how to be restored if, for whatever reason, you were to come into contact with something like this. And it's a travesty because both of these people are in the health and wellness arena via network marketing, as I have been for 12 years. And as a matter of fact, I met both of them 12 years ago. And because sometimes you can get a copycat that will come out with something that they say that it will tend to your illnesses, or it can reverse the symptoms that you might be having, and people believe it. And that is sad when we don't seek the right advice. It's even sadder when tonight you have been given the information to really impact people's lives. But there's a saying that my grandmother, whom raised me, that education, empowerment, and inspiration without application still leads to assassination. And you will get left behind, called elimination. And so, you know, we have a mandate to go out and share the good news of Sanki Global. We have something here that's so rich, and not just the health products, but also the wealth products. Because by simply sharing these stories, exposing people to the experiences that you have heard on tonight, and you're about to hear some powerful testimonies, real stories, real people that have faced the giant of the coronavirus. And they took that information, they took that education, and they applied it. And now today, they are coronavirus free. I want to roll over to New York City, if I may. And I want to bring to the line a young lady who is dear and near to the Sanki family and definitely to my heart. She is someone that is a pastor in the community of New York City. She has a big role to play like never before, because not only is she praying and laying hands and standing in the gap for people that are going through health challenges, but also wealth challenges. I'm sure that many of you watch the news just like I do. You're watching social media and you understand that we have over 20 million people that do not have a job tonight. They do not have a clue on how to provide for their family or for their future. And many of them need to know about the platform of Sanki Global by just exposing the good news, exposing it, inviting people on calls just like this, inviting people to your local Lifestyle Connect via Zoom, or maybe someone is having something in their home or at a coffee shop, exposing people to a three-way call, exposing people to a medical doctor that they can talk to that's affiliated here with Sanki Global, or with ambassadors, journey pioneers that have said yes, like Pastor Giselle Johnny. Pastor Giselle Johnny is an educator. She is someone who is a mentor to masses and masses of women. She believes in empowering women all around the world, especially women of color. She is also a Christian counselor. She is someone who's an advocate for change. She stands in the gap for women that have been physically, emotionally, and spiritually abused. My dear friend, my colleague, faced the giant a few weeks ago. I'm going to get out of the way and allow Pastor Giselle Johnny to share her story, her experience with Sanki product system, and how that experience saved her life. Pastor Giselle Johnny, are you there, ma'am?
Great evening, Dr. Helen. Yes, I am. How are you doing?
I'm excellent, ma'am. Take us away.
Thank you so much. First, I just want to say thank you to great women like yourself, and also Queen Rhonda Isaac, and people like you who have exposed people like me to something so tremendous. Having been someone prior to November, never, ever, ever knowing anything about network marketing, but having my life back, I just want to say thank you. And thank you to all the great, great leaders, the CEOs, Dr. Alejandro, Dr. Avida, and all of our great doctors that we have on this platform. I just wanted to say thank you. And so 3 weeks ago, I started getting some terrible, terrible symptoms. And before I talk about that, being at the epicenter of this coronavirus, which is New York, I have been inside. From the time the word came around, I have been inside. But looking at the news today, the 23rd of April, 263,000. Are you hearing me? 263,632 deaths today, cases, today, and 17,671 deaths today. And I have friends who are nurses, they just get home in the night and cry because the hospitals smell like that. This is what we are living in. People are dying all around us, people we know. And so 3 weeks ago, when I contracted this, what I thought was a terrible flu, I was simply being accountable by messaging some of my leaders to let them know I can't do anything because I'm in distress. I couldn't really talk a lot. I was coughing. I had this sore throat. And then the days went by and it started to get worse. I was having respiratory distress. To take one breath, I had to sum up all of the energy in my entire body just to take one breath. And then you started feeling like this liquid inside of your inside then your smell goes away, your sense of smell, there's nothing, you can't smell anything at all. Your sense of taste goes away, you can't taste anything at all. And then you start having like this inner fever, it's like an inner temperature. And I'm just going to be really open, even a lot of blood, even in your stools. And so you're throwing up, and all of this is happening. And when I reached out, I was told to take the Crenouille de Bellage, the Inner 7 together. And this is what helped me, because I was taking the product the way I usually do. And I don't know what would have happened if I was not taking it, because I would have had a lot of autoimmune issues. And I was the only one in my house who really got touched by this thing so badly. The other persons are also on the product, my 7-year-old son, my husband, and they were not touched by it. So I know it's because my immune system is now rebuilding, but I'm just grateful and thankful to have my life here now on tonight, because it could have gone differently had I not been a part of this great mission. So I just want to say thank you, because in 5 days from the time I contracted, then when I sent the info out, the following was like 2.5 days, I started doing the Crenouille de Bellage, the Inner 7. So in all, it was 5 days of suffering, and it could have been shortened had I reached out and gotten this information the first day, I think. So I just wanted to say thank you, and I appreciate what we have in our hands, and I want to encourage us to just use it to save lives. At this point, it's not just changing lives, it's saving lives. Thank you so much.
Wow, wow, wow. Pastor Giselle, Johnny, I know that you reached out to me and a few other leaders, and I will say, because we've grown to love you, and I was petrified when I read your symptoms, when I heard your voice. I said, oh my God. And fever spiking. I mean, just every single thing that we were hearing about on the news. And here it is that even if we lived in the same city, we couldn't get to you. You would have to be quarantined, which you did. You didn't want to be around your family because in fear that you could pass this on to them. And what did that feel like at the moment that you were gasping for air, gasping for life, wondering, with all of the things that you're hearing on the radio and you're seeing on the news and you're hearing about people that are very healthy, work out every day, in the best shape of their life, but because they waited too long and it traveled to their lungs, they did not make it in time to the hospital and they died. Or they made it to only succumb to being on a ventilator for 24 or 48 hours. What were the things that you were facing at this time when you did not know what direction this could go, and you were just getting advice about warm up the Bellage, the Crenouille, the Inner 7, drink it as hot as you can, as often as you can? What were some of the things that was racing through your mind? Talk to us, take us there to the night when you realized, oh my God, this has now come knocking at my door.
Well, Dr. Helen, if it was knocking at my door, I may not have had those thoughts, but it was inside. It was already inside. It was beyond the door. It had entered and it was taking over. Why am I saying it was taking over? Because
I wanted you to say it. I didn't want to be the one to say it. Say it.
It was taking over. And the worst thing was when I did the online, you could get the doctors to send you this online survey. You can get your doctor to do that. And so when I got the online survey sent to me and I filled it out, all of the symptoms, and that came back, and you see the response coming back saying, this is confirmed coronavirus symptoms. That's when I know it's not just, it was home. This is where all the thoughts of death, with all my faith, with all my preaching, with all my encouraging, the thoughts of death began to bombard my mind.
Wow.
And I'm just thinking, God, I've just started a new journey. I've just started a new path. I have so many dreams, and that's what was happening. And it's like every breath you value, every single breath you value. That's what it's like.
That's powerful. And so after about how many days did you start to feel better from being on the Sanki product system?
So I had reached out by the first day when I started feeling so horrible. I was thinking it's just a bad flu. By the second day, I realized that something was really wrong. And so it was the third day when I realized I couldn't even talk to have a conversation with anyone. So that's why I reached out, because I didn't want to disappoint anyone, not being on the calls, not talking. And so when I reached out to you, and I reached out as well to Queen Fabiola, Queen Rhonda as well, when I got the information and it was confirmed by all three persons to take the Crenouille de Village, the inner 7, that was day 3. And so you had sent me a message with a prayer saying that in 5 days it would be over. And I was really looking forward to that. But I was thinking it's probably 5 days from the day you said it. But it was just a 5-day journey, because I started the middle of it on the 3rd day. And so by the 5th day, I woke up the morning and I started feeling everything was just back to normal. I mean, normal. I'm talking about, Dr. Helen, let's just be open. I'm talking about the 2nd day and the 3rd day. I was bleeding in my stool, a lot of blood, and feeling so weak. It was a lot. And I was really, really, really scared. So it was 5 days from the contracting till the 5th day. It was the end of it. And no one else in my house, not even my 7-year-old son, had a problem with it. He started coughing one day. We pumped up the Village on him. My husband started coughing. We pumped up the Village. We said, okay, if this is what we're going to do, we're going to do the Crenouille and the inner 7. And so we pumped it up, and that was it. No one else was touched.
Wow. Wow. I just thank you on the behalf of everyone that's listening in for your transparency, for that level of commitment to serve people so that they can be well informed in hopes to be proactive instead of reactive. Men and women, you have heard a very powerful testimony on tonight. And by no means are we making any medical claims that the Sanki product system will heal anyone, or it is the remedy, or it is a cure. But these are real testimonies. And there's been so many people that have been battling and perhaps did not have enough umption to say, let me call and do a video chat with a doctor, or let me go to the emergency room. They didn't have the courage to do that. And maybe they just battled and they suffered in silence. Matter of fact, I remember a few months ago, before the big talk of the coronavirus is now plaguing North America, back in February, our national sales director, Mr. Corey Williams, we had a talk about this a few nights ago. He was dreadfully sick. I mean, high fevers. He was using a breathing type machine, a ventilator, to get some oxygen. He had been diagnosed with about 4 different kind of strands of viruses. Of course, at that time, no one knew to test for the coronavirus. But I am certain, as he is certain, that it is definitely the prayers of people, and it's the prayers of maybe even the ancestors that have gone before us, that pray for your healing, for your restoration, for your redemption in this process, in this thing called life. And I also believe that him being connected and having the right information to use this product system triple time. You don't just take it regular when you're gasping and you can't breathe. You take these products triple time. And I saw him getting better, but again, no one knew that he was going through something very similar, or he could perhaps have even had the coronavirus. I've spoken to so many men and women that have been on our product line, and they're like, I've got some really weird symptoms. And I tell them, double up, triple up. And they'll call me in 2 to 5 days and say, the symptoms are gone. And so I know without a shadow of a doubt, we have something very special here. I know without a shadow of a doubt that our product system, it is allowing people to live stronger and longer lives. It is a miracle, our product system. And I can't say that enough, and I can't stress it enough, that you have the power in your hand and in your voice and in something called this mobile device. Stop watching it all day long and going on social media and just watching what's going on. Be a part of what's going on. Be the change that you want to see in the world. You want to see people healed. You want to see people restored. You want to see people redeemed. Then you have a responsibility. You have a mandate to pick up your phone and expose, invite people to the Lifestyle Connects, invite people to calls like this, play this recording, put this on your social media page, expose, copy, paste, and profit. It's just that simple. There's no hype in this. There's no exaggeration to this. These are real stories from real people getting right now real results. It is more than just to change a life, but to have the ability and stability to save a life is powerful. I want to roll over to another dear friend of mine, someone who has become like a sister to me. Matter of fact, today we were talking about things that had nothing to do with business, just talking about life, talking about women's stuff, you know, the things we go through as moms and as daughters and as significant others. And I am so grateful that our paths have connected. She is out of Trinidad and Tobago, but she was in New York City around the same time that I went to serve Miss Giselle Johnny and this lady and their entire New York team back in February. And I am certain that I came in contact with people that were positive for the coronavirus. And I believe in my heart that at that time that I was in New York City, the strand of coronavirus was raging through her body. She left New York City to go home to Trinidad and Tobago and became dreadfully sick. I mean, down for days and days and days. We were all very worried. And as much faith as we had, and our prayer language was absolutely activated, but we were still very concerned about her life, about her destiny. I want to bring to the line Miss Queen Rhonda Isaac, natural pathologist of Trinidad and Tobago, so she can share with you just for a few moments the power of our Sanki product system. Queen Rhonda Isaac, millionaire maker, are you on the line?
Yes, I am, Dr. Helen.
How are you doing, beautiful?
I am fantastic. And how are you?
I am excellent, and you look amazing. You look much better than you did last week. Take us away.
Well, as you said, yes, I was in New York, and I do work closely because Giselle is part of my team. So we interact a lot while we were in New York, and I left and I came home. And then when I came home, I actually started experiencing symptoms. However, I am not the type to go to hospitals. I am not the type to go to the doctor. However, understanding what I have in my hand, I usually use products and supplements to do just that. And because I know these products build up the immune system, I've always been on them. So when I started getting the symptoms, I simply increased my dosage and started resting a lot more. I was getting the same cough, the inability to smell and taste. You actually lose the smell and the taste. I actually started documenting the symptoms that I was getting, because for me, it started with a headache. And in between, I would feel like I'm getting an internal fever going and coming. But because I kept using the products, the fever never really got a chance to kick in. And I felt as if my tongue went numb. I couldn't taste anything. There was a lot of dryness in my mouth, and I started developing the cough and those different things. But along with using the products, I would also try and implement certain things, like before I go to sleep, I would actually put a mint in my mouth, because they say if your body remains too dry, then the virus would have time to set in. And to try and protect myself during the nighttime, I know with a mint, your mouth would actually keep manufacturing the saliva to keep the passage moist. So those are things that I would use. And in speaking to someone else, they were telling me that you mix the 3 products. So with that, I would mix the 3 products as well. And when I did that, I actually felt a major difference within probably about the 15 to 20 minutes time. You felt like you actually get a kick of energy. But even though I got the kick of energy, I tried to rest a lot to allow my body to heal, because I know it is during the resting period is where your body is able to really repair and do the work of getting rid of the virus. It doesn't make sense overexerting yourself, because one of the days I actually was feeling better. I got up and did some washing, and then I realized I was overexerted. So I ended up just sleeping out the afternoon because my body was doing an internal fight. So I had to allow it to do its work and not do too much external work. So yeah, the products do help. I know they would have helped. And therefore I just didn't even bother to go get tested. One of the things I try to do is stay away from talking to people, not necessarily because of the symptoms and other things, but because people, especially in Trinidad, their answer is go to the hospital, go get tested, go to the hospital. And that's not my answer, because I know I am using these products to repair my system. And one of the first things the hospitals do is give you antibiotics. And I spoke with someone else who had the virus, and that's exactly what they were on, antibiotics, which would have just worked in a reverse counteraction to the products that I'm using. So I know it didn't make sense going to the hospital.
Wow. That's amazing. And I mean, it's like, I know you, both of you, and this was real for me, because I was like, oh my God, okay, so when she gets back to Trinidad, who's gonna help her? Who's gonna take her to the hospital? She really needs to go to the hospital. Oh my God, I hope she's gonna be okay. I mean, it was a lot, but then it gave me peace, because I know how disciplined you are. When you set your mind to have a routine, and that's what you are really good at. You're very disciplined, you're very obedient, and when something is working for you and you know what combination to use, and like you've taught me, the body is created to heal itself. But sometimes you have to have some assistance, and you use wisdom, and you use the right products, obviously, because you look 1,000% better, you sound better. And I'm just happy that you didn't decide to go meet Jesus before me.
Just to add to that, I live in a house with my son, who's 21, and a 6-month-old baby.
Wow.
And as you were saying, prevention, I usually emphasize on prevention is better than cure. My great-grandmother had a saying that what's good for the sick is better for the well. So even while I was taking it, I made sure they were on it as well to prevent them getting any of the symptoms. So,
wow. Well, thank you again, Queen Rhonda Isaac. Love you. Love both of you. Appreciate you being so transparent. We're going to just take 2 more testimonies tonight. They're going to be very quick testimonies, because we want to open up the lines. We're going to bring back on to Mr. Jose Avita, who's going to administer some Q&A on tonight. We're going to have some closing comments that you don't want to move. You don't want to go anywhere. Matter of fact, you want to start inviting people if you haven't, because I know some of you in awe and you're almost frozen and you're like, oh my God, now unfreeze. Go ahead and invite people. We're only going to be on for just a few more minutes here, but literally you want them to hear this life-changing information on tonight. So I want to roll right over to Dallas, Texas. A very dear friend of mine. He's been in the industry of direct sales for over 30 years, a former NFL player. He just has a tremendous amount of experience in business, in life, in ministry. He is a father. He is a husband. He is a mentor to people all over the world. He's a life changer. That's what he is. And he has an amazing testimony that he wants to share with you on tonight. Tim Trahan, are you out there, sir? Are you able to unmute your line? Or whomever is controlling the panel, can you go ahead and unmute King Tim Trahan? All right, well, we'll roll back to him if we can, if time permits. But we're now going to just roll over to Kingston, Jamaica. I met this young lady just a few short months ago in person, but I've been following her career path for the last 15 years. She's someone who I look up towards. She has paved the way for many, many powerful women to be powerful women, especially women of color. She is someone who has pioneered and spearheaded many major movements in network marketing. She's been responsible for 5 health and wellness companies coming through and sticking and staying in the Caribbean market. She owns and operates several successful businesses, and she's also a customs officer. She sits on a very high level of a board in the political arena of the Caribbean market as well. She's an influencer, and she is sought after for the advice of men and women that desire to do business at a very high level in the Caribbean market. I want to get out of the way of someone who started as a colleague, but she has now become my friend. She has also become my sister. Queen Beverly Wholeness, the Caribbean liaison for Sanki Global. Are you there, ma'am?
So I'm right.
Are you there?
Yes, I am right here. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
Okay, yep, vaguely. You sound far away.
Okay, are you hearing me any
We
better?
can hear you now. Take us away.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. It has been an absolute beautiful evening. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. And, I listened to Pastor Giselle and I listened to Rhonda. And, when I listen to them, I'm like, oh my God, there is hope. But I would just want to say thanks to you, Dr. Helen. I want to say thanks to Dr. Alejandro for this beautiful opportunity, for this movement, because it is an absolute movement that has been ordained by God, right? I want to say thanks to Dr. Franco. I want to say thanks to the other doctor, don't remember his name, but I just want to say thanks to the entire Sanki Global family. I want to say thanks to Mr. Jose Aved. It is just an amazing time to be alive, even though we are in the face of Corona. But what I want to bring and what I really want to say to my Jamaican and everybody on this call tonight is that there is hope. There is hope in the midst of chaos. There is hope. In the face of death, there is hope. Pastor Giselle in New York, which is now the epicenter of the coronavirus, all she saw was the products and she had hope. And I just want to, are you hearing me good still? Are you still hearing me?
We can hear you just fine.
Okay. Are you able to see me?
We can't see you, but that's okay. We can hear you.
Okay, fantastic. And I just want to say to my Jamaican people who are on the line, because we have several persons from Jamaica on this call. We have persons all over the world. I want to say to you tonight, Sanki Global has used trees that God has made from time immemorial to save life. The olive tree, when I first learned about the olive tree, I know that back down there in Noah, that dove brought the olive, went out to and pick up an olive tree and leaf and came back. And this is what Sanki Global is using along with the rosemary in the village to save lives. This is amazing. This is what you call hope. And if you could just see me right now, I don't want to put my camera on because I don't want my the reception to drop. But I am now drinking both my Belage, my Crenute, and my Inner 7 all in one. Why? Because based on the message that we get tonight, we now need to become proactive and not reactive. And I'm not saying that Pastor Giselle and Rhonda was being reactive. right? We are not saying that. But what is happening? What has happened to them? Because they had some of this product in their body had a fighting chance to fight the coronavirus. And this is what these products has been doing. This is what they did. And when they step up the pace a little bit, they were able to come through. In the midst of the chaos that is happening right now in the world, coronavirus does not only bring hope for you to get better from the coronavirus, it brings hope as it relates to your finances. And what you are noticing with this coronavirus, it has no respect for color, it have no respect for class, it have no respect for creed, it have no respect for religion, and it has no respect for whatever political allegiance you are a part of. Because this coronavirus is sweeping through the world. People are hungry, people are dying. So when persons and people are hungry and people are dying, what are the two things you can help them with? You can help them to be better. And this is what we are doing with these fantastic 4 products, which is the Belage, the Reunión, the Inner 7, and the Sanki. And how are we helping them? We are helping them again because they are able to put food on their table. Because Sanki Global said, hey, all you need to do is to open your mouth and talk. And as Dr. Helen rightly said, people talk on Facebook. They put up their picture cooking some dinner that maybe not even tastes good. They put up a new hairstyle. They put on some clothes that not even maybe look good. And they put everything on social media. What you need to do now is start talking about these products because it is going to save life in terms of your health. And it is also going to put food on your table. It is one thing for you to be hungry, but it's another thing when you have kids crying to you for hunger. And so this is what I'm saying to you now. While in the midst of chaos, there is always opportunity. And I am seeing where Sanki Global, through these amazing products, has brought us, basically my grandma would say we're using 1 stone to kill 2 birds. I'm not sure, Dr. Helen, if you have ever heard that saying, if you're grandma ever say that to you. So all we're doing right here, we're talking about this awesome product. We are inviting persons to experience a better lifestyle in terms of their health, and in turn, Sanki Global say thank you and give you an awesome paycheck. What a wonderful, team to be a part of. I stand here as the ambassador for the Caribbean in terms of Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, and any other country, that Caribbean island that need my help. I stand in the gap to help to ensure that they understand how to get and know the entire logistics of how to get the products in. Right in Jamaica now, people are able to get their products in 24 hours after you purchase your product. In another week or less, Trinidad and Tobago will be able to get their products in 24 hours or less. This is what you call amazing plus. Because half of Jamaica right now is closed because of the coronavirus. But I can tell you, the Sanki Global Fulfillment Center is open. Thanks be to God. And I just want to end by saying, let us, for those who are on this call, who you are not yet on these products, I'm imploring you to start. Be proactive and not reactive. And if you are already on the product, step up your game. Back over to you, Dr. Helen.
Thank you, Queen Beverly Wholeness of Jamaica. You got me so fired up over here. I'm telling you, I am here in Florida at one of my homes. I'm standing on my dango head with excitement. Guys, we're going to do something special tonight. We're going to be giving somebody some products tonight. We're also going to be sharing a way where you can get free products tonight. So you don't want to hang up. Matter of fact, if you saw somebody who was on and they're not on anymore, you need to tell them you got to get on right now so you can hear how you can get your products that will safeguard your health and that also will stimulate your wealth. You're going to hear an announcement here just in a few moments. So you cannot move. You cannot move. And if you saw someone that did move, tell them to move back onto the call. So thank you so much. That is just power in transparency. There's power in unity. There's power in love. There's power in coming together and everyone being on the same page. And there's a saying that one of the owners, I can't remember if it was Mr. Gert or Mr. NC, but what he said that was so profound is that God created us and Sanki united us. And that's powerful. Guys, eyes have not heard, nor ears have, eyes have not seen, nor ears have heard the goodness of what God is doing in Sanki Global. If you think that you've heard something here on tonight, you haven't heard nothing yet. You haven't seen nothing yet, because we haven't scratched the scratch, because we were waiting on you, and now you're here. And so I challenge you, I beg of you with all humility to go and expose the stories, the testimonies, the love, the culture, the leadership, the opportunity of Sanki Global, not tomorrow, but tonight. Because tomorrow, you want them to be a part of the call-a-thon. We're gonna have an empower-a-thon every hour on the hour from 12 o'clock to 8 o'clock. I challenge you to invite as many people that you love, that you care about, your friends, your colleagues, your family members, your frenemies even. Yeah, they need some money too, and they need to be protected. You wouldn't want to see nothing bad happen to them, right? Or their children. So you want to invite them 20 minutes at the top of every hour on the hour. Get the phone number from the person that invited you tonight and get back on tomorrow. It'll be a different Zoom link, but we'll be posting all over social media. It's a private Zoom link, but we have designed it just for you. And I'm expecting every line to be packed out, so you want to log on early. The kickoff is going to be 12 o'clock Eastern, and that is tomorrow. You don't want to miss it, guys. If you think these stories were powerful, you wait until you hear them tomorrow. So I want to roll right back over to Dallas, Texas, just for 3 minutes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn the call over to Mr. Abita, because the time is coming to an end. So unfortunately, I can't take any more speakers tonight, but I want to go ahead and make some room for King Tim Trahan. Are you there, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can. Take us away.
All right. Thank you. That was an awesome and powerful testimony previous to mine, guys. But hey, listen, I just want to say that, you know, what we have, guys, we're sitting on a gold mine with this. One of my good colleagues and a friend of mine through the industry as well, Dr. Marie, she was suffering some symptoms as well as her daughter, who flew in from New York. And she started doubling up on the Belage and also taking the Inter-7. And it started working for her immediately. She was having the itchy throat and the fever and all of the symptoms related to COVID. And she called me after a couple of days of her taking the Belage and the Inter-7, and she wanted to know exactly what was in those products so she could pass the good news to the other doctors that are in her office as well. So guys, you just don't know, you know, what it is that we have. I mean, we have something that's ultra special here. And like we said, can save lives. And, you know, we're in a situation right now where folks are sitting at home and they don't know what to do. And if you don't open your mouth, they don't even know what it is that you have. So we have to talk to as many people as possible, let as many people as possible know that we have the solution, guys. And for you guys that don't understand business, listen, the folks that are able to solve the biggest problems make the most money. Well, we're in the middle of a huge problem right now, and we have the solution. So with that, Dr. Helen, I want to turn the call back over to you. Thank you for allowing me to speak real briefly.
Thank you so much. And I personally know Dr. Marie, and that is incredible that you got to her in time with the Sanki product system. King Tim Trahan, just such a phenomenal leader. And all of the leaders that spoke tonight, we really appreciate you. So I want to go ahead and turn it over to the co-host on this evening, Mr. Jose Abita. For those that may have some questions that you want answered on tonight, we're going to do a little Q&A. So Mr. Jose Abita, you have the floor. Take us away.
Thank you, Dr. Helen, and thank you everyone for sharing their testimonials. And it's amazing, and that's the main reason that why we're doing what we're doing. And I have been always saying that we do this for you and because of you. And the main goal and the vision and the mission of the Sanki family is to really help thousands of people around the world, millions of people around the world, in this season mainly. And as many of you say, this is a huge opportunity right now to help a lot of people. And with no more explanations, I want to go over the QA. So as you can see in your chat in the Zoom panel in the bottom of your screen, you have a Q&A button that you can click and write us your questions. So I want to start making some of the questions that we received already, of course, to Dr. Franco, Dr. Lee, and Mr. Alejandro Lopez Tello, whoever wants to answer the question. And the first one is, I think it doesn't say who sent it, but can these products can be used for a child with endocrine issues causing HBP, congenital adrenal hyperplasia, to be exact?
Well,
I think
go ahead.
Those questions are for medical doctors. So I'm a chemical engineer. I cannot I can try to answer, but I prefer not to do it. I give the word to the doctors, to the MDs.
All right, this is Dr. Franco Taylor. What we have to look at is we're so used to supplements that heal the heart and heal the liver and heal the lung, but we don't have that type of formulations. Our formulations are designed to give the body exactly what it needs so that it can heal itself. So yes, we're talking about plant-based, food-based ingredients, metabolites, millions of enzymes, antioxidants that go into the body, and it causes the body to begin to heal at the microcellular level. So it doesn't matter what the illness is, the body knows how to heal itself. There's no rocket science about that. The body knows what to do. God placed millions of immune cells in the body that go into action when something is wrong. And if you're eating correctly, drinking correctly, getting your exercise and all that, the body will heal itself. If you're not doing that, then the body needs a jump start. And our products, the Balage, the Quinui, and the Inter7 and the Hasaki are designed to give the body what it needs at all the various levels. And therefore, the body will begin to heal itself. So yes, this little person, by ingesting our products, the body will begin to heal itself. That's just the way it is.
Thank you, Dr. Franco. Something that you want to add, Dr. Laney?
Yes, I just want to say, can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, I agree with Dr. Franco, and that these products are being used in all age groups, and it goes right in working at the immune system. Different people have been talking, and they've been talking about how they've given the products to their children and are noticing that their children who have immune systems, their children who have circulation, their children who have systems that these products activate the antioxidant system in our own bodies, they will help them with almost any particular condition. The studies and trials that we talked about today that are going on is really showing, just like Dr. Franco has mentioned, not only do we have the metabolites in the Sanki, but we have metabolites in the Balage also. The Balage is beginning to surface as a superior product for almost any particular condition because of how much it works to not only help the body hydrate at the cellular level, which helps the immune system, but to actually go in and help the circulation, which helps at the immune system, and to also help down at the level of the mitochondria. So when we talk about any and all the age groups, a product that works down at the level of the mitochondria after it gets past the stomach and everything. Keep in mind that the enzyme system, where the breakdown of many of the foods and products that we take get past the stomach because of the unique enzyme system of these products and gets down into the cellular level. So yes, it would take care of any of the particular conditions that were mentioned, just like Dr. Franco mentioned.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Very, very good explanation. Thank you for that answer. And well, the next one is is related with the first one because someone is asking us about can Sanki products can be taken by children and also by a pregnant woman.
Well, you want me to go on and
Go ahead.
answer that question?
Yeah, it's a question in two parts. The first one is, can children, is safe for
Yes,
children?
children, and then second is pregnant women.
And then pregnant women.
Yeah. First off, in children, children can take the products, the products which are have basis of olive leaf extract, rosemary, spirulina, the enzyme systems, the turmeric, as well as different things when you talk about minerals. All these things are needed by children as well as by adults. We talk about children. I say any children that are past the nursing age really can take these products safely. Once again, you talk about using the products, but you talk about using not necessarily the large dose that we would use with adults, but being able to use, whereas someone may be taking a couple of blodge a day, just using maybe one or half on the children that are under 10, and then children over 10 years old can probably take an adult dose. The second, and I'll let Dr. Franco say what he wants to say about these, but the second question is pregnant women. We talk about in pregnancy, they tell pregnant women to take vitamins and supplements. And the vitamins and supplements that are taken, a lot of times they talk about prenatal vitamins. And this is what a lot of the doctors in conventional medicine give. But these products are products that are natural products, and they're herbal-based products. So a woman can check with her doctor, but she could be safe to be able to take the products because they don't do anything working down against the level of pregnancy or working down against the immune system, if you will. A lot of people that are pregnant, they're having different problems with blood pressure, whatever, in conventional medicine. And many of these products do go in and help the circulation. If it's helped the circulation of the mother, it can help the circulation of the baby, help down at the immune system level. So I think you would have a safety on both fronts. Dr. Franco?
Dr. Lee Laney, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I guess sometimes I hold back because I sound like a broken record. We're talking about the food. We're talking about the food that a lot of people, most people are not getting because they don't eat properly, okay? Not picking on anyone, but the world has been taught to go to Mickey D's, Captain D's, Wendy's, one of these, some of these, all of these, okay? And because of that, we're getting food that's not giving us the nutrients. So the body can't heal itself. But when you're talking about these food grade products full of enzymes, metabolites, antioxidants, enzymes, that's what everybody needs. That's what we've been missing. That is why Dr. Edias decided to do this, because he looked at the Japanese who were living to be such, living these long ages. Longevity was all over the place, 70,000 centenarians in Japan, and they were getting foods, fermented foods, that had all of these ingredients in it that kept them living long without sickness. Babies through centenarians. So yes, these foods would basically, like Dr. Laney said, you can go and ask your doctor what he thinks, but if you'll take most of those medicines out of GNC and so forth, those supplements and so forth, a good deal of them are just hog fat, plastic covered, horse's hoof covered, and mixed with all kind of chemicals and so forth. Unless they say plant-based 100%, you got nothing. So yes, I would say they're safe for whoever. And again, you need to go ask your doctor. What can he say against a food-based, plant-based products like what we have?
Thank you, doctor, for that explanation. And I think that the next question is very similar to the previous explanation that you already shared with us about how the products work with different type of patients and chronodegeneration illnesses. And the question, in addition of the symptom of the patient here, and somewhat with cancer, colon cancer, anemia, a low pressure, temperature of 39, shows weakness. The question mainly is not about here the illness or the disease. It's like the people that have suffering some symptoms and different ones like COVID-19 or different type of flus or different type of illnesses, how many doses they should take during the day? How many doses of Village, how many of Hasaki, how many Inner7, how many Chronoid?
Well, I guess I can simply say that it'd be pretty hard to overdose on food, okay? So the bottom line, because it's not fattening food, so it's not gonna pop your stomach, okay? So the bottom line is, and sometimes we have to be our own physician. You know yourself better than anybody else. And if you're taking the product, you double up, see what happens. Triple up, see what happens. If you don't feel good enough, do a little more. If you feel like it's doing fine, you can go back. But the bottom line is you get to the point where you know what your body needs and you put into it what it needs until it feels like you think it ought to feel. So you kind of have, I mean, there's no exact amount for anybody. Physician, heal thyself. That's scripture. Heal yourself. Look at, you know how you feel. Take the products and they're working. You know they're working. If you need more, a little more energy. You're not feeling quite like you ought to feel. Take a little bit more and then see how that works. And you can go up and down based on how you're feeling.
I would like to add.
Thank you for that answer. Yep.
I would like to add that all chronic diseases are the consequence of lack of microcirculation, because there are lots of questions. They were asking if a diabetic can take this. Of course, there's no problem, and there are millions of diabetic patients in the US. Actually, this helps a lot in diabetic patients, and maybe Dr. Laney can add to this, but I was just going to say that the majority of these diseases that are chronic, like diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, arthritis, Alzheimer's, etc., are the consequence of inflammation at the cellular level and lack of microcirculation. So we're going to the origin at the cellular level, and all our products, the 4 products that we have in the US, are mainly metabolites. All of them are metabolites. The lash has metabolites that we obtain from the rosemary leaves and the olive tree leaves. Chronui has metabolites that we obtain basically from green tea leaves and black beans. Hasaki is based on metabolites that we obtain from cocoa beans. And Inner7 has metabolites that we obtain from deep ocean water, basically from the plankton. And minerals like magnesium that at the nano level that we obtain from this deep ocean water. So at the end, if you take the 4 products, you're fueling all your human cells with metabolites. And these metabolites are these amino acids, enzymes, etc., that help your body restore itself, that help your body boost your immune system, help your body increase your energy levels, help your body in many different aspects that can change your lifestyle forever. And of course, if you have a disease, you will start feeling better and you will start recovering from that disease at a higher pace, or this could be an adjuvant for your other medicines or drugs if you're taking them. And eventually you will start seeing that with your doctors that you can start reducing the amount of drugs that you're taking. That's what we have as testimonies here. We have thousands of testimonies with doctors here and their patients, and how their patients have recovered in the middle and long term from different types of diseases or ailments. So, well, I just want to add that. Dr. Laney, maybe you want to add to this.
Yes. First off, I agree with what Dr. Franco has said. I agree with Alejandro has said. I am a clinician and a scientist. So when people come and ask and they start asking about finite amounts, how much can you take and how long can you take it, and this sort of thing, this is what conventional medicine has been built up around. But let me just say this. Let me back up a little bit, because the whole vision of Dr. Diaz what Sanki Mayer is doing, from everything I can understand, has been set up around studies that are dealing with the natural products that you so eloquently talked about, Alejandro. And these natural products are the ingredients that you went over, and I hope everybody was listening, because they're ingredients that have been chosen out of several other ingredients over the 40-year period of research, that you choose olive leaf and not something else because of all the different properties of olive leaf. We talked about many of them: antiviral, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial. But the thing to mention also is that not only is olive leaf an immune booster, but it helps with many of the chronic illnesses that many of us have, including myself and my own family, like, for instance, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, which is running rampant in the United States and all of North America, actually, in all manner of people. But also it helps with reducing risk of weight gain, arthritis, you name it. Now, people were mentioning cancer also. The polyphenols that we see in olive leaf, they actually protect against the DNA damage. Now, the DNA damage comes because we have these free radicals that get into the system, and these damage from these DNA damage because of the free radicals, this is characteristic of what starts a lot of the cancers. So when people talk about how much should I take and this sort of thing, if you're taking one barrage a day and you're taking once a day of everything, that's good. But if you have a system that you want to stimulate the immune system, just like people are noticing in these viral respiratory conditions, they're taking a little bit more. All the studies talk about taking one barrage and this sort of thing. But as you take more, your body will be enhanced at the immune system and the cellular level and utilize what you need. You talk about rosemary, just as I mentioned. It not only helps to regulate our immune system and circulatory system, but it helps in a lot of things, all over from stress to over to kidney damage. Now, these are things that have already been mentioned by Dr. Franco and by Alejandro, but I wanted to mention it again because many of the conditions that people have, they're telling me already, you know what, I noticed that, you know, my bowels are working better. I'm taking a canoe. I noticed also that it seemed like my kidneys are working better. I'm able to go and use the bathroom and not have to get up all through the night. So there are many things that are being impacted just from people taking the amount that's recommended. Do I take more sometimes? I do. You know, many times we're taking Belage once a day, but we take it twice a day, 3 times a day. It's according to what other kind of condition you want to impact. Lastly, I want to say you have to use some common sense. I think that's one of the things that Dr. Frank would always agree on, is that you're taking something and it starts to help you, and you start seeing your blood pressure go down, start seeing your blood sugar go down. Like I've been many testimonials, and Tim Trahan can own up to that. You tell your doctor, say, hey, look, my sugar's going down. He say, yes, it is. My A1C, and look like you're not getting as much of this medicine as you're taking. So it's not only going to be a help to you, but it's also going to be a testimony even to your doctors and those who know about all the side effects and everything, all the different conventional medicines. Back to you, Mr. Vita.
Thank you. Dr. Franco, you want to add something? I mean, with these answers that Alejandro Lopez Tello and Dr. Lee just answered, and this great explanation, we answer almost all the questions because at the end, and every time that we have the physician panel on Saturdays, we always have the same thing. Like people is asking about different diseases, different illnesses, doses, how many I need to take for how long, and all these things. And at the end, we always came with the same answer. Like every person is going to be different. You need to auto-diagnose yourself in these kind of things, how you're feeling. Sometimes myself, I personally take two Belage during my meal or my lunch, and then I take a lot of Cornuit maybe when I'm playing golf, or when I'm running, going to the gym, I take more Hasaki. So different ways to take it. But as everyone knows, we need to take at least one a day, and one of each a day in order to start feeling the benefits for all the Sanki products. But something that you want to add, Dr. Franco, and then we go to final comments, And we have some surprises that Dr. Helen will share, and the sales manager.
No, I think we've pretty. I'm sorry. No, I think we pretty much covered that pretty well. I kind of started it off, but yeah, I agree with everything that has been said. And we're so thankful to everybody, all the leaders. Mr. Arvita, you know, I love you, man. You're my salsa teacher. Folks don't realize that people like you and the rest of the leaders who are at the helm of this are so real. All of us, even you, Mr. Tello. We've all been in Mexico. We had lunch and dinner together. We even cried together. I know it sounds crazy for you all out there to hear it, but these men do cry. They're real. They're compassionate about what God has given us in this company, Sanki, and these formulations that heal 100% of the people, 100% of the time. But Mr. Tello, I just want to say to you, thank you for having the vision to see what the vision that was inside of Dr. Bahia Diaz's mind when he talked to you and left and went back to Japan, and you turned around and went right back after him and joined forces. If you hadn't looked at what he had and saw the vision, if you hadn't grabbed that vision, and if you hadn't been willing to literally walk away from a company already set up with many, many products that was doing well, if you didn't have that vision that would help Mr. NC and Mr. Kurt to join with you, then none of us would be here. So I want to thank you for being just as important to me as Dr. Diaz is, because you had to grab hold of it and just completely sacrifice to start all over again and have that vision. And that's why I'm here, and I'm thankful for you. And I just want you to know that somebody really sees what you did, and I'm thankful for that.
Me too.
Thank you, Dr. Franco and Dr. Lee. Thank you for your words. I really appreciate it, and I'm your humble servant. Whatever you need, you count me in for whatever you need. Thank you, and thank you for your time. I think this has been an amazing evening, with all of you sharing your knowledge and all your experience. I think that to conclude, for me, health is our most precious asset. And with the COVID-19, I think that it's a blessing that all the people is back at their homes, and there is a new conscience evolving and surging in all the cities, in all the states, in all the families, in all the homes, to really understand what all of this means. And of course, it goes beyond this pandemic and goes beyond all the panic. This is about evolving as human race, about really understanding what is life about, and all the love and all the blessings that we have in our lives just at home. So maybe some of us have forgotten that, and we cannot forget it. And this has put us all in the same position as somebody else was just saying. This is not for rich or for poor, or for Americans or Mexicans or Asians or Europeans. It's for all of us. And I'm really excited of what's coming out of all of this. I know that the economic part is also a huge challenge, but here is Sanki for all of you, so you can start building a new option, a new opportunity for you and your loved ones. I am truly blessed to be with you guys. I really love you, and thank you for being with us to build this huge community in the US and in the Caribbean and in all the world. Thank you. I really appreciate it. God bless you.
Thank you, Alejandro.
God bless you.
Back to you, Dr. Helen. Take us away. Thank you, Alejandro, for sharing these amazing words. And we're just following your vision and the mission that you put in place 10 years ago. It sounds easy to put all this together, but once we see the past and we see how these 10 years has been going through, is an amazing journey. It's an amazing journey, and we just have amazing testimonials for thousands of people, and not just in the health area, in the lifestyle area, and in their personal lives, and how people has been able to find in Sanki home for the long run, and with a long-term vision, 100-year vision. And I will say the same thing in our business presentations or every time that we talk about Sanki. Every decision that we take in the company is towards to be 100 years in the market for the first stage. So we are here for the long term, and we are very happy and we feel blessed for having all of this Sanki family and this amazing community joining us in this journey, finding their home and a place that they can found their legacy or build their legacy. So thank you, Dr. Franco Taylor. Thank you. You know that I love you too. You're amazing. I enjoy every time that we have the time to talk. Dr. Laney, I really appreciate you. It was an honor, and thank you for joining us tonight. And also, I want to thank everyone that shared their testimonials with us tonight. It has an amazing call. It seems like I just was a couple minutes, but we have been here like 2 hours and a half. So it's been amazing. There's never enough time to talk about all of these amazing technologies, ideas, news, and there's still things that we want to share with you guys. So stay tuned. I just want to, before we jump with Dr. Helen, I just want to thank everyone that has been connected in this call, in behalf and the Sanki family, the Sanki community, the Sanki physician panels, and the doctors that with love and true and honesty and most important integrity represents their professions and represents thousands of well-being people. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight, and let's go to the next things. And we have all amazing news and some things that Dr. Helen and our sales managers wants to share with you tonight. So thank you. See you soon.
Wow, wow, wow. What a privilege to be among all of you on this evening. This was absolutely a rich call, and there will be part two. So you guys got to stay tuned. We won't hold you as long when we do part two, but part two is going to be coming up very, very soon. And so guys, by now, you should want to be a part of what we're doing here at Sanki Global. By now, you should at least want to be a VIP customer. Try our amazing products, because you've heard some phenomenal, life-changing miracle testimonies on tonight. By now, you want to be a part of something that's bigger than yourself. By now, you want to get in position to find out what's going on, this big announcement that you can have the product for free. So some of you have stayed on from the beginning to the very end, and there's thousands probably of people that's going to be plugging in through social media, because many of you, I've looked at your Facebook page during this call, and you've been sharing it on your Facebook page. So we thank you, we honor you, we love you, we appreciate you, we value you, and it's a privilege to provide a platform where it's safe. It's safe to bring your gifts, your talents, your anointing, and we meet you right where you're at. And that is favor, a lot of favor on this company. And I'm getting a little emotional. So I'm going to turn it over to our sales manager and our national sales director, because we have a special promotion that you want to take advantage of. And by now, you should already be texting the person that invited you tonight saying thank you and sending them some air kisses. Because of Corona, you probably don't want to go up and kiss them if they're sitting right next to you. But send them an air hug, send them, I love you, I thank you, I appreciate you, because they could have invited anyone tonight, but they thought enough of you. And that's huge. That's huge that they had you on tonight's call, because after tonight, your life will never be the same after this particular call. And so we have the call-a-thon. I will say it again, tomorrow. We kick it off at 12 o'clock Eastern. We will be sending out the Zoom link on social media and also in the WhatsApp group. So text them right now and say, send me that number. I want to jump back on 20 minutes at the top of the hour. And there's a way tomorrow that we have designed for those that are in need to create thousands of dollars, because you need it. You heard me. Thousands. I didn't say $100. I said a couple of $1,000 you can earn tomorrow. as in between 12 and 8 o'clock during the call-a-thon. So I'm going to bring on Miss Fabi Hernandez, and she's going to share just a little bit about tomorrow's call-a-thon, what to expect, who should be on tomorrow's call-a-thon, who you should be inviting on tomorrow. Hint, hint, wink, wink. It's probably the people that are working from home that are in fear right now, that they don't know if they're going to have a job after all of this, or probably the people that realize that they have greatness on the inside of them, and it's been birthed through this coronavirus, and they realize that they want more so they can do more. They're looking for extra so they can have extra, and they need to create a stream of income that is stable, that no one can take away from them. Those people, hint, hint, wink, wink, need to be on tomorrow. You need to be back on tomorrow, because tomorrow is the day that we have some big goals, that anyone who joins that call tomorrow and they follow the chart that Ms. Fabi is about to go over with you, we are guaranteeing you, if you do what we tell you to do and play basically the adult game of follow the leader, you're going to be in the Comma Club on tomorrow. What does that mean? $1,000 or less, duh. I mean, or more. That's the Comma Club. And that's what we are guaranteeing you if you do exactly what Miss Fabi is about to tell you. And we have a special surprise for those that stayed on to the very end. Queen Fabi Hernandez, take us away.
There we go. I'm so sorry. Okay, now you can hear me. Oh my God, what a night. I'm super excited still to listen all these amazing testimonials. Dr. Franco, Dr. Laney, Mr. Alejandro Lopez Tello. What can I say? I just feel blessed to be in this company. I definitely, I know that I found this company when this company found me 6 years ago. And I just want to say thank you guys for all what you're doing. Thank you for those, the opportunity that you're giving us today to share and spread with the world the great news, as Dr. Helen said, the big news that we need to have. And that's why tomorrow we decided to create this call-a-thon that is going to be powerful, guys. You just listen today that we're not kidding, right? You just listen today that we are not saying something that you need to keep as a secret. You need to say it. You need to be the messenger to all the people that is around you. It doesn't matter if they don't want to listen to you, just keep pushing them and pushing them, because this is real information that they need to know. That's why tomorrow we're going to have this call-a-thon that is going to be powerful for you guys, in order that you can have, of course, all these people on your organization as a customer, as a journey pioneer. The best thing is that we have the opportunity for everyone. Even if you're going to be healthier or wealthier, this is the moment and this is the opportunity that you need to take. And tomorrow we're going to have amazing leaders doing these calls for 20 minutes that are going to just to share a little bit what you listened today. But it's your responsibility from now on to give the details, right? So tomorrow, the dynamic is that every hour we're gonna have this call, this Lifestyle Connect, just for 20 minutes, every hour, right? And every hour we're gonna have a different leader doing it. Of course, that our corporate staff is gonna be there helping you and serving you, because what we wanna do is just to let you feel confident that you're gonna have the power tomorrow to change thousands of people's lives. So this screen that I'm sharing right now is just to give you the image, the picture, so you can visualize for today, starting now, how many people are you going to have tomorrow connected during the whole day. Let's make a little example. If you can see the blue, it's going to be you. The blue Sanki logo is going to be you. Then we have the green one, which is the guest that you're going to have. And then we have the red one, which is going to be your new pioneer. So let me see, if you are inviting tomorrow to our calls, 10 people per call, it means that you're going to have 2 new journey pioneers. And that's not something that I'm just inviting. That's the numbers probability that you're going to have if you invite at least 10 people to every call. This is something that you need to make really easy. You just need to take them to the call, take them to the Zoom, just share with them the link, and we are going to do the rest for you guys. We want you to be successful tomorrow. We want you to be on the Comma Club. We want you to have thousands of customers. You can save thousands of people's life tomorrow just to take them to this amazing call-a-thon. So the first step is, as I said, that you need to invite at least 10 people in every call that we're going to have. 10 people in 8 hours is going to be like 80 people. So just go to your cell phone, and as Dr. Helen said, it's really easy to just expose, copy, paste, and profit. And tomorrow is going to happen. The second step is that then you're going to help to your 2 new journey pioneers to invite their 10 prospects each to the next presentation using the different flyers that we'll be sharing on our groups and our social media as well. They're going to be posting in our Facebook. We're going to be sharing them on our groups, and definitely this is going to help you to help them as well to bring new journey pioneers or new customers to their organization. So the dynamic is this: you are inviting me. I'm going to join the call-a-thon. I'm going to join the 9 o'clock, is the 12 o'clock Eastern time call. I'm going to be enrolled as a journey pioneer. But for the next hour, I need to have my new 10 guests, because I want to have as well my 2 new journey pioneers or my 2 new customers. Doesn't matter. The important here is that you can share, starting right now, as I said, in this moment, as soon as we finish this call, to all the people that you care, to all the people that you love, and even that the people that you don't even know. Just go to your social media, spread this information, share with them the links, share with them the schedules that we're gonna have, and just make it happen, guys. Tomorrow you're gonna have the huge opportunity to have at least 20 more new journey pioneers on your organization. And the best thing of this is that you can help them to bring new people to the organization. So it's a win-to-win game. Okay, so now let me go introduce you, because this is just the plan for tomorrow, guys. We have this amazing call-a-thon tomorrow, so you can have these new journey pioneers on your organization. But we know that someone is going to ask you, okay, what is the next step? How can I start my business now? What is the next thing that I need to do? So for that, I'm going to bring to the floor our amazing national sales director, a man that you already know. And if you don't know, you're gonna really love this man, because he has a passion to talk. He's always inspiring people. He's always serving you and serving others without expecting any back. So let's give it away to Mr. Corey Williams. King Corey Williams, are you on the line, sir?
Yes, Miss Fabi, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as Miss Fabi said, you really want to invite to tomorrow's call-a-thon, and then, just have a vision. If you really have a vision tonight, just meditate on it, get some rest. If I were you, I would write a list down before I go to sleep tonight, and really just invite. Before the end of the day, you can have 500 people that are in your organization if you follow that blueprint. Then, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is not only just allow you opportunities to get people in your organization, but then we're going to turn around with a Success Sanki Super Saturday training, and we'll help you to train these people. So imagine if you could start over. You could start with, what if you have no people in your organization, or if you have 10 or 50, whatever it may be, because so many people are at different levels and different points in their lives. You can have 500 people tomorrow if you work hard. And is it going to be work? Yes. Is it going to be hard? Yes. Will it be worth it? Yes. But then on Saturday, turn around, we'll have an amazing Super Saturday lineup, just teaching people on different ways to get to the next level, on how to be a leader, how to close, how to invite, edification, on and on and on. So many different amazing topics, the Super Saturday. And you can really close this month out and close the leadership period out hitting a rank. I'm sitting right now at the Mercedes-Benz dealership in Greenway. And guys, and it's just an opportunity. I'll show you what I do when I'm vision casting. I go to a dealership and I'm looking at different cars that I want. So I encourage you guys to pick out that Mercedes car that you want. Once you hit that platinum level, you can hit platinum tomorrow. You go ahead and start picking out that that Tesla that you want. Vision yourself and what you want, ladies and gentlemen, and because you can have what you picture, but also you have to put some action to it. So guys, get excited for tomorrow's call-a-thon, and then get excited and get ready to really just learn from the best of the best here in our company with Sanki Global, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna get started tomorrow, first thing at 12 noon, and then also tomorrow you really want to start inviting. So back to you. Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and close it out, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for being on the call. We appreciate you, and we'll see you tomorrow on the call-a-thon starting at 12 noon. So get into the WhatsApp and get that WhatsApp and that the Zoom login, and start inviting tonight for the call-a-thon tomorrow, and for Saturday's Super Saturday Sanki Training Bootcamp. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Before we go, Mr. Williams, I'm so sorry, but we have another surprise tonight. I know that it's been super long, this call, but it's going to be word that you can listen, guys, that is starting tonight, is starting this moment. We have an amazing opportunity to have your free flash. You already listen how powerful is this product. You already listen how powerful is all our Sanki system. We reverse, recover, and restore. And that's why in Sanki, we believe that we need to give you this extra product on your hands in order that you can share it with people that you love, in order that you can sell it, in order that you can just sample it. It doesn't matter what you want to do, but just keep it and take it with you. So we have this amazing promotion that is going to be the next. This is going to be in order that you can buy, if you buy 4 of our products, any combination, it could be 1 Hazaki, 1 Inner 1 Belash, 1 Kermi. It could be 2 Belash, 2 Hazakis. It doesn't matter what is the combination that you're going to do. You're going to receive a free Belash. And that's why I'm saying this is gold, guys. You cannot miss this promotion because this is gold. You just saw evidence, clinical trials. You listen to our CEO that went 10 years ago to Japan to discover this technology. You already listen our doctors. You already listen Dr. Helen. You already listen Mr. Williams, Mr. Vide. I mean, what else do you want to expect or wait for this? This is a huge promotion that you need to take advantage of. For every 4 products that you buy in the time of our promotion, you're going to receive the gold, which is going to be a free Belash. This is going to be starting tonight, April the 23rd, until April the 30th, right? So you need to call right now. Just need to go to all the people that you invited to this call, the people that you're going to invite tomorrow, because if they buy 4 products, they're going to receive 1 extra Belash. So this is something that you cannot miss, guys. Just take advantage of this, please. In Sanki, we believe in you because you believe in us, and definitely this promotion is going to change your life and thousands of people's life. Going back with you, Dr. Helen, right?
No, actually,
no.
the call was really over, but I appreciate you jumping back in, and I just can't believe all of the things and ways that we show, that Sanki shows that they care. You know, so many people just have incredible testimonies because we just never stop giving. And to be a part of such an incredible movement and a mission and a mantra of Sanki Global, to have a product system that will reverse, recover, and restore. Products that work 100% of the time with 100% of the people. I don't want to be anywhere in the world but with Sanki Global. Guys, thank you for being on the call tonight. I love each and every one of you. We love each and every one of you. But remember, guys, God loves you best. Good night, my friend.
Good night. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.